c4, e5, g3, knight c6, knight c3, g6, bishop g2, d6, e3, bishop g7, knight ge2, h5, h4, bishop e6, b3, knight f6, d4, e takes d4, e takes d4, bishop g4, castle kingside, queen d7, bishop g5, castle kingside, queen d2, rook a e8, rook a e1, a6, d5, knight e5, bishop takes f6, bishop takes e2, bishop takes g7, bishop takes f1, queen h6, f6, queen h8, check, king f7, bishop takes f8, knight f3, check, bishop takes f3, rook takes e1, bishop h6, bishop d3, check, king h2, queen e7, c5, e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6, d4, knight takes e4, bishop d3, d5, knight takes e5, knight d7, knight takes d7, bishop takes d7, castle kingside, bishop e7, bishop f4, castle kingside, knight d2, knight takes d2, queen takes d2, bishop g4, rook fe1, c6, rook e3, bishop f6, rook a e1, queen d7, h3, bishop f5, bishop takes f5, queen takes f5, bishop d6, bishop g5, bishop takes f8, bishop takes e3, rook takes e3, rook takes f8, rook e7, rook b8, queen d3, queen takes d3, c takes d3, king f8, rook c7, a5, g3, A4, A3, G5, King F1, H5, H4, G takes H4, G takes H4, King G7, King G2, King G6, King G3, F6, King F4, B5, Rook takes C6, B4, Rook A6, B takes A3, B takes A3, Rook B3, Rook takes A4, Rook takes D3, F3, King F7, Rook A7, check, King G6, Rook A4, King F7, King G3, King E6, King F2, Rook D2, check, King E3, Rook H2, Rook A6, check, King E7, A4, Rook takes H4, A5, Rook H1, Rook A8, King D7, A6, King C7, Rook F8, Rook A1, Rook takes F6, H4, King F4, H3, Rook H6, Rook H1, King E5, King B8, Rook H7, H2, King takes D5, Rook F1, Rook takes H2, Rook takes F3, Rook B2, check, King A7, Rook A2, Rook F8, E4, C5, Knight F3, Knight C6, Bishop B5, G6, Castle kingside, Bishop G7, Bishop takes C6, B takes C6, Rook E1, Knight H6, C3, Castle kingside, D4, C takes D4, C takes D4, D5, E5, F6, E takes F6, E takes F6, Knight B D2, Rook E8, Knight B3, Rook takes E1, check, Queen takes e1. Knight f5. Bishop d2. Bishop d7. Knight c5. Queen c7. Rook c1. Rook e8. Queen d1. Bishop c8. h3. Bishop f8. Queen a4. Queen b6. b3. Knight d6. Bishop a5. Queen b5. Queen takes b5. Knight takes b5. a4. Knight d6. Bishop d2. g5. Knight d3. Bishop d7. Knight c5. Bishop c8. Knight d3. Bishop f5. Knight fe1. Rook c8. g4. Bishop g6. f3. Rook b8. Knight c5. Bishop e7. Rook c3. King f7. Knight ed3. Bishop takes d3. Knight takes d3. King e8. Bishop e1. Knight f7. Bishop g3. Rook b7. King f1. King d7. Bishop f2. Knight d8. f4. G takes f4. Knight takes f4. Knight f7. Knight h5. Knight g5. King e2. Rook b4. Rook d3. Rook b8. Knight g7. Knight e6. Knight takes e6. King takes e6. Rook e3.
Check.
King d7. Rook f3. e4. e5. Knight f3. Knight c6. Bishop c4. Bishop c5. d3. Knight f6. c3. Castle kingside. Castle kingside. d5. E takes d5. Knight takes d5. Rook e1. Bishop g4. h3. Bishop h5. Knight bd2. Knight b6. Bishop b3. Queen takes d3. Knight takes e5. Queen f5. Knight ef3. Rook a d8. Queen e2. Queen c8. Queen b5. Knight d7. Bishop c2. Rook fe8. Rook takes e8. Check. Rook takes e8. Bishop f5. a6. Queen c4. Bishop d6. Queen h4. Bishop g6. Bishop takes g6. H takes g6. Knight e4. Knight c e5. Knight f g5. Knight f8. Knight takes d6. C takes d6. Queen d4. Queen c6. f3. d5. h4. f6. Knight h3. Knight e6. Queen d1. King f7. Knight f4. Queen c5. Check. King h2. Rook h8. King g3. Knight takes f4. Bishop takes f4. Knight c6. Queen d2. Knight e7. Bishop e3. Queen c4. King f2. Queen takes h4. Check. King f1. Queen c4. Check. King g1. g5. b3. Queen h4. Rook e1. King g6. King f1. Knight f5. Queen d3. g4. Bishop f2. Queen h5. Rook e3. g3. Bishop takes g3. Queen h1. Check. King f2. Queen a1. Rook e1. Queen takes a2. Check. King g1. Queen takes b3. Bishop f2. Queen c4. Queen c2. Queen f4. g4. Queen takes f3. Queen takes f5. Check. Queen takes f5. G takes f5. Check. King takes f5. Rook e7. b5. Rook takes g7. Rook c8. Bishop d4. Rook c4. Rook b7. b4. Rook takes b4. Rook takes b4. C takes b4. King e4. Bishop takes f6. King d3. Bishop d8. d4. King f2. King c3. Bishop f6. King takes b4. Bishop takes d4. a5. e4. e5. Knight f3. Knight c6. Bishop c4. Bishop c5. c3. Knight f6. d4. E takes d4. e5. d5. Bishop b5. Knight e4. C takes d4. Bishop b6. Knight c3. Castle kingside. Bishop e3. Bishop g4. h3. Bishop h5. Queen c2. Knight takes c3. B takes c3. f6. E takes f6. Queen takes f6. Bishop e2. Knight a5. Castle kingside. Bishop takes f3. Bishop takes f3. c6. Rook a e1. Knight c4. Bishop c1. Bishop c7. Bishop g4. Rook a e8. g3. Bishop d6. h4. Queen f7. h5. Bishop a3. Bishop g5. h6. Bishop f4. Bishop d6. Rook takes e8. Rook takes e8. Bishop c1. Bishop a3. Bishop f4. Bishop d6. Bishop c1. Bishop a3. Bishop f4. Bishop d6. Bishop d2. Rook e4. Bishop d1. b5. King g2. a5. Bishop f3. Rook e6. Bishop c1. Bishop a3. Bishop f4. Bishop d6. Bishop c1. Bishop a3. Bishop f4. Bishop d6. Bishop c1. E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, bishop C4, bishop C5, C3, knight F6, D3, D6, castle kingside, castle kingside, rook E1, A6, A4, bishop A7, knight BD2, knight G4, rook E2, king H8, H3, F5, knight F1, F takes E4, D takes E4, knight H6, rook E1, queen F6, knight G3, bishop takes H3, bishop G5, queen G6, G takes H3, rook takes F3, queen takes F3, queen takes G5, king H2, knight E7, rook G1, knight G6, knight F5, queen F6, knight takes H6, queen takes F3, knight F7, check, queen takes F7, bishop takes F7, knight F4, A5, rook F8, bishop D5, C6, bishop C4, rook F6, rook A F1, G6, rook G3, D5, bishop D3, knight H5, rook G4, knight F4, bishop C2, king G7, H4, H5, rook G3, knight E2, rook G5, D4, bishop D1, D3, F3, rook F4, king H3, king F6, rook G2, knight C1, rook E1, bishop C5, rook D2, king G7, bishop A4, rook takes F3, check, king G2, bishop E3, king takes F3, bishop takes D2, rook D1, bishop F4, B4, D2, C4, Knight A2. Rook A1. Knight C3. Bishop C2. King F6. Rook A3. D1 promotes to Queen check. Bishop takes D1. Knight takes D1. Rook D3. Knight E3. Rook D6 check. King E7. Rook takes G6. Knight takes C4. Rook G7 check. King D6. Rook takes B7. Knight D2 check. King E2. Knight takes E4. Rook A7. Knight C3 check. King D3. Knight D5. King E4. Knight takes B4. Rook H7. C5. Rook takes H5. C4. A3. G6. E4. C5. Knight C3. Bishop G7. Bishop C4. Knight C6. D3. Knight F6. Bishop G5. D6. Knight GE2. Bishop D7. Queen D2. H6. Bishop H4. Knight D4. Knight takes D4. C takes D4. Knight E2. Queen B6. Bishop B3. Rook C8. H3. A5. A4. Bishop C6. Castle kingside. Knight D7. F4. Knight C5. Bishop C4. Knight takes A4. E5. Knight takes B2. Bishop B3. A4. Bishop A2. Queen C5. Bishop F2. D takes E5. F takes E5. Bishop takes E5. Bishop takes F7 check. King D7. Knight F4. Rook Cf8. Bishop E6 check. King E8. Knight takes G6. Rook F6. Knight takes E5. Queen takes E5. Rook A E1. Queen D6. Queen A5. Rook HF8. Queen H5 check. King D8. Queen A5, check. King E8. Queen A8, check. Queen D8. Queen takes D8, check. King takes D8. Bishop takes D4. Rook takes F1, check. Rook takes F1. Rook takes F1, check. King takes F1. A3. Bishop C5. Knight D1. G4. Bishop A4. King E1. Bishop takes C2. King D2. Bishop A4. H4. King E8. G5. H takes G5. H takes G5. King F8. Bishop D4. D4. Knight F6. C4. E6. Knight F3. D5. G3. Bishop E7. Bishop G2. Castle kingside. Castle kingside. D takes C4. Knight A3. Bishop takes A3. B takes A3. B5. A4. A6. Bishop A3. Rook E8. Knight E5. Knight D5. E4. Knight E7. Queen H5. Knight G6. Rook A D1. Knight D7. Knight C6. Knight F6. Knight takes D8. Knight takes H5. E5. Rook B8. Knight C6. Rook A8. Knight A5. Rook B8. Bishop F3. Bishop D7. A takes B5. A takes B5. Bishop B4. Knight HF4. G takes F4. Knight takes F4. Rook D2. Knight D5. Rook B1. Rook B6. Rook D B2. Rook A8. Bishop E1. Rook A7. Bishop takes D5. E takes D5. F3. Bishop F5. Rook A1. Bishop D7. Rook A B1. Bishop F5. Rook A1. Bishop D7. Rook A B1. D4. Knight F6. C4. E6. Knight C3. D5. C takes D5. E takes D5. Bishop G5. Bishop E7. E3. Castle kingside. Bishop D3. C6. Knight GE2. Rook E8. Queen C2. Knight BD7. Castle kingside. Knight F8. F3. G6. Bishop H4. Knight E6. King H1. B5. Rook A D1. Bishop B7. Queen C1. Rook C8. E4. B4. Knight A4. Queen A5. B3. C5. Knight takes C5. Knight takes C5. D takes C5. Rook takes C5. Queen E3. Queen C7. Bishop G3. Bishop D6. Queen D4. Bishop takes G3. Knight takes G3. Queen B6. E5. Knight D7. F4. Rook C3. Queen takes B6. Knight takes B6. Knight E2. Rook C5. King G1. Rook A5. Rook D2. Knight D7. Rook C1. Knight C5. Bishop B1. Knight E4. Bishop takes E4. D takes E4. Rook C7. E3. Rook D3. Rook takes A2. Rook takes E3. Bishop D5. H4. A5. Rook C5. Bishop B7. Rook C7. Bishop D5. Rook C5. Bishop B7. Rook C7. Bishop D5. Knight F3. D5. G3. Knight F6. Bishop G2. E6. Castle kingside. Bishop e7. c4. Castle kingside. d4. d takes c4. Queen c2. a6. a4. Bishop d7. Queen takes c4. Bishop c6. Bishop g5. Knight b d7. Knight c3. h6. Bishop takes f6. Knight takes f6. Rook fd1. Bishop d5. Queen d3. Bishop takes f3. Bishop takes f3. c6. e3. a5. h4. h5. e4. g6. Queen e3. Rook e8. King g2. King g7. Rook d3. Queen b6. Rook a d1. Rook a d8. e5. Knight d7. Knight e2. c5. Rook b3. c takes d4. Rook takes b6. d takes e3. Rook takes b7. Knight takes e5. Rook takes e7. Rook takes d1. Rook takes e8. Knight d3. Knight c3. Rook d2. Bishop e2. Knight takes b2. King f1. E takes f2. Rook b8. Rook c2. Rook b3. King f6. King takes f2. Knight d3. Check. King e3. Knight c5. Rook a3. King e5. Bishop b5. Rook g2. King f3. Rook d2. Rook a2. Rook d4. Rook e2. Check. King f5. King e3. King e5. Rook f2. f5. Rook f4. Rook d8. Rook c4. Knight b3. Knight e2. King f6. Rook c6. e4. c6. d4. d5. e5. Bishop f5. Bishop e3. e6. Knight d2. Knight e7. c3. Bishop g6. f4. h5. Knight gf3. h4. Bishop e2. Knight d7. Bishop f2. Knight f5. Knight b3. Bishop e7. Castle kingside. Bishop h5. Knight e1. Bishop takes e2. Queen takes e2. g5. Knight d3. Rook g8. F takes g5. Bishop takes g5. a4. Bishop h6. Bishop e1. Bishop e3. Check. King h1. Queen g5. Knight a5. Castle queenside. b4. Rook g7. Rook a2. Rook h8. Rook f3. f6. b5. c takes b5. a takes b5. f takes e5. d takes e5. Bishop b6. Knight b3. Queen g4. Knight f4. Rook e8. c4. d takes c4. Queen takes c4. Check. King b8. Queen e2. Knight e3. Bishop f2. Knight takes g2. Bishop takes b6. Knight takes f4. Bishop takes a7. Check. King c8. Queen c4. Check. Knight c5. Rook f1. Rook eg8. Bishop takes c5. c4. Knight f6. Knight c3. e5. Knight f3. Knight c6. e3. Bishop b4. Queen c2. Bishop takes c3. b takes c3. Castle kingside. d3. d6. Bishop e2. Knight e8. Castle kingside. f5. Knight e1. Knight f6. c5. d5. d4. E4, C4, bishop E6, rook B1, rook B8, F4, knight A5, C takes D5, queen takes D5, queen C3, B6, bishop A3, queen takes A2, C takes B6, knight D5, queen B2, queen takes B2, rook takes B2, rook Fe8, B takes C7, rook takes B2, bishop takes B2, knight takes E3, D5, bishop takes D5, rook F2, knight EC4, bishop E5, rook C8, G4, knight takes E5, F takes E5, F takes G4, bishop takes G4, rook takes C7, rook D2, bishop B7, knight C2, knight C6, E6, G6, knight E3, knight E5, king F2, king F8, bishop H3, king E7, rook A2, A6, rook A4, knight D3, check, king G3, rook C3, rook A5, king D6, rook A1, knight C5, king F2, knight takes E6, rook B1, knight C5, rook B6, check, king C7, rook F6, A5, rook F7, check, king B6, rook takes H7, A4, rook G7, knight D3, check, king G3, A3, rook takes G6, check, king A7, rook G5, knight C5, rook takes C5, rook takes C5, bishop E6, bishop D5, bishop takes D5, rook takes D5, knight takes D5, A2, king F4, A1 promotes to queen, king takes E4, queen H1, check, knight F3, knight F6, C4, C5, knight C3, D5, C takes D5, knight takes D5, queen B3, knight B4, A3, knight 4 C6, E3, E6, bishop E2, bishop E7, castle kingside, castle kingside, D4, C takes D4, E takes D4, knight takes D4, knight takes D4, queen takes D4, bishop E3, queen E5, bishop F3, knight C6, rook FD1, bishop C5, bishop takes C5, queen takes C5, knight E4, queen E5, rook AC1, knight D4, queen E3, knight takes F3, check, queen takes F3, queen takes B2, rook C7, E5, knight G5, queen B6, rook takes F7, bishop E6, rook takes B7, rook takes F3, rook takes B6, A takes B6, knight takes F3, E4, knight E5, G6, rook D6, rook takes A3, H3, bishop A2, rook takes B6, E3, rook B8, check, king G7, rook B7, check, king G8, F takes E3, rook takes E3, knight G4, rook E6, knight H6, check, king H8, knight F7, check, king G8, knight G5, rook E2, knight takes H7, rook takes G2, check, king takes G2, bishop D5, check, E4, E5, knight F3, knight F6, knight takes E5, D6, knight F3, knight takes E4, D3, knight F6, D4, bishop E7, bishop D3, castle kingside, castle kingside, C5, Knight c3. Bishop g4. h3. Bishop h5. g4. Bishop g6. d5. Knight f d7. Rook e1. Knight a6. Bishop f4. Knight c7. Bishop takes g6. F takes g6. Bishop g3. Rook f7. Knight e4. Knight b6. Knight e5. D takes e5. d6. Knight c d5. D takes e7. Queen takes e7. Queen d3. c4. Queen d2. Rook a f8. Rook a d1. Knight f4. King h2. h6. Queen a5. Knight c8. Queen b5. Queen c7. Knight c3. g5. Queen takes e5. Queen b6. Queen b5. Queen g6. Knight e4. Rook c7. Rook d4. a6. Queen a5. Queen c6. Queen d2. Rook e7. Bishop takes f4. Rook takes f4. Rook d8 check. Rook f8. Knight g3. Rook takes e1. Rook takes f8 check. King takes f8. Queen takes e1. Knight e7. Queen e5. Queen d5. Queen c7. Knight g6. Knight f5. Queen e5 check. Queen takes e5. Knight takes e5. King g3. g6. Knight d6. b5. f4. G takes f4 check. King takes f4. Knight c6. c3. King e7. Knight e4. a5. a4. B takes a4. Knight d2. King d6. Knight takes c4 check. King c5. Knight e3. Knight a7. g5. H takes g5 check. King takes g5. Knight b5. King takes g6. Knight takes c3. h4. Knight e2. King g5. Knight g3. Knight f5. King b4. Knight takes g3. King b3. h5. King takes b2. h6. a3. h7. a2. h8 promotes to queen, check. King b1. Queen b8, check. King c2. Queen c7, check. King b2. Queen b6, check. King c2. Queen c5, check. King b2. Queen d4, check. King b1. Knight e4. a1 promotes to queen. Knight d2, check. King a2. Queen a4, check. King b2. Knight c4, check. King b1. Queen d1, check. d4. g6. e4. d6. Knight f3. Knight f6. Bishop d3. Bishop g7. Castle kingside. Castle kingside. Rook e1. Knight c6. d5. Knight b4. Bishop f1. c6. a3. Knight a6. Knight c3. Bishop d7. Bishop e3. Queen c7. Bishop d4. Rook a c8. D takes c6. Bishop takes c6. Bishop takes a7. Knight c5. e5. D takes e5. Bishop takes c5. Bishop takes f3. Queen takes f3. Queen takes c5. Queen takes b7. Knight g4. Rook e2. Rook b8. Queen f3. f5. Queen d5, check. Queen takes d5. Knight takes d5. Rook takes b2. h3. Knight f6. Knight takes e7, check. King f7. Knight c6. e4. Knight e5, check. King e7. Knight c4. Rook b5. Rook E1. Rook C5. Rook A B1. Rook C7. F3. Rook FC8. Knight B6. Rook D8. F takes E4. Knight takes E4. Bishop D3. Rook D4. Bishop takes E4. F takes E4. Rook E2. King D6. A4. Rook C5. A5. King C6. A6. Rook A5. C3. Rook D3. Rook takes E4. Rook takes C3. Rook C4.
Check.
Rook takes C4. Knight takes C4. Rook takes A6. Knight D2. Bishop E5. King F1. Rook A2. Rook D1. Bishop D4. Knight E4. Bishop B6. Rook D2. Rook A4. Rook C2.
Check.
King D7. Knight C5.
Check.
Bishop takes C5. Rook takes C5. D4. Knight F6. C4. E6. Knight C3. D5. C takes D5. E takes D5. Bishop G5. Bishop E7. E3. Castle kingside. Bishop D3. C6. Knight Ge2. Knight BD7. Queen C2. Rook E8. Castle kingside. Knight F8. F3. G6. Bishop H4. Knight E6. King H1. B5. Rook AC1. Bishop B7. Knight D1. Rook C8. Queen D2. A6. B4. Knight E4. Bishop takes E4. Bishop takes H4. Bishop B1. A5. A3. A takes B4. A takes B4. Queen E7. F4. Knight F8. Knight G1. Knight D7. Knight f3. Bishop f6. Knight e5. Knight b6. Knight b2. Knight c4. Knight b takes c4. B takes c4. e4. Bishop g7. Rook c e1. Queen c7. h4. Bishop a6. Rook f2. Rook b8. h5. Queen d6. Queen d1. D takes e4. Bishop takes e4. Rook takes b4. Knight takes f7. King takes f7. f5. Bishop f6. F takes g6. Check. King g7. G takes h7. Queen g3. Rook f3. Queen h4. Check. Rook h3. Rook takes e4. Rook f1. Rook b3. Rook takes h4. Rook takes h4. Check. King g1. Bishop takes d4. Check. Rook f2. Rook b2. e4. c6. d4. d5. e5. Bishop f5. Bishop e3. e6. Knight d2. Knight e7. c3. Knight d7. f4. Queen b6. Knight b3. a5. Queen d2. Bishop e4. Knight f3. Knight f5. Bishop f2. a4. Knight c1. c5. Bishop d3. Bishop takes f3. G takes f3. g6. Bishop takes f5. G takes f5. Rook g1. Bishop e7. Knight e2. c4. Queen c2. Knight f8. King d2. Knight g6. Rook a b1. Queen c6. Rook g3. King d7. a3. Rook a6. Bishop e3. Rook b6. Rook bg1. h5. King d1. h4. Rook 3 G2. Rook A6. Bishop C1. Rook A8. Rook F1. Queen C8. Knight G1. Queen F8. E4. Knight F6. E5. Knight D5. C4. Knight B6. D4. D6. F4. Bishop F5. Knight C3. E6. Knight F3. Bishop E7. Bishop E3. Castle kingside. Bishop E2. D takes E5. F takes E5. Knight C6. Castle kingside. F6. E takes F6. Bishop takes F6. B3. Queen E7. Queen E1. Rook A D8. Rook D1. Bishop G4. Knight E4. H6. Queen G3. Bishop F5. Knight takes F6. Check. Rook takes F6. Knight H4. Bishop C2. Rook takes F6. Bishop takes D1. Rook G6. Knight takes D4. Bishop D3. Knight E2. Check. Bishop takes E2. Bishop takes E2. Bishop takes H6. Rook D1. Check. King F2. Queen F8. Check. Knight F3. Rook D7. King takes E2. King H7. Knight G5. Check. King H8. Knight takes E6. Queen F5. Bishop takes G7. Check. King G8. Bishop D4. Check. King F7. Rook F6. Check.